Good morning. This is my view. This is the view from my balcony. I'm up north in Saltburn by the sea, near Whitby. It's a beautiful morning. Nice and sunny. So today I'm going to draw this little creature. This is going to be my little project this morning. Found it on the beach, already dead. This make a very interesting drawing. I'm going to turn it the other way. So I'm going to draw it from this angle. You can see. Get it a little bit closer. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw this shape. Okay, break it in half and do it all in perspective. So I'm going to, as you can see, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 legs on each side. Okay, it's fairly symmetrical, and so all I'm going to do is draw a line in the middle and 5 lines across. Okay, it's just how to break it. I'm going to do it in perspective, and that's why I chose this angle. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom out a bit. So this is the shape I'm looking for. If you're not sure, you can always do, let's just say, you can do a square in perspective. Try and make it a little bit smaller. See that? That's how I'm doing it. Doing it in perspective. So I'm going to split that in half. This side is always bigger than this one. And then I'll just start carving into this box here. So once I've got my shape roughly, I work out where the points for the legs are. Got one here, one here, one, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Got my shape now, so all I have to do now is just work out how many parts in this leg. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So well, you've got that part there, the joint, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just drawing the skeleton at the moment, so I'm not bothering with the whole shape. Okay, so I'm going to do the same process with the rest of the legs. Okay, so I've done the legs. As you can see now, it's just a skeleton. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, I've done my skeleton. As you can see, this is all in perspective. Now I'm just going to adjust the shape a little bit. So I need to just cut down a little bit here. And then, and also a little bit here as well. And now I'm just going to start creating the shapes of the legs now. Just doing the shapes of the legs. Should be straightforward. There's a little tubes, and a little flat tubes. And for the colours, I'm going to be using a yellow ochre and a bit of yellow, white on this side, and I've got bit of Prussian blue there and crimson red, and that's it really. And you can see there's quite a bit of green there and a bit of yellow and a bit of kind of reddish yellow ochre sort of thing, so that's why I've put a bit of red in there. If you're wondering what this is not a palette. I haven't got a palette. This is one of these. It's just a long shell that I picked up from the beach. It's quite nice. It's got a nice surface, so I thought, why not? I can use that as a palette. So there you go. So I'll grab a bit of this. No, actually, I'm going to start with this yellow. I'm just going to go all over the crab here, just cover the whole thing. I won't worry too much about the shiny areas and so on, because we're going to use white here. This is not watercolor, it's gouache, so it tends to be a bit opaque and a bit dark, a bit thicker than watercolor, but you can use it as watercolor if you want. In this case, I'm going to make it a bit thicker and a bit opaque, so I'm not worried about the, see the shiny areas there. I'm just going to cover the whole thing. And why not add a little bit for the shadow here as well. Not a problem, just add a bit for the shadow. Here as well. Very lightly. Okay. Let's move it a bit. Just so. You've got dark shadow here. So I'm just going to put this color here for now. Let's cover this area here. Got my first layer here. You can see I'm gonna go add a little bit more. I'm gonna add a bit of this red, just a little bit. Crimson red, yellow ochre. See now, starting to look a bit reddish. A bit. Gently go over those areas. Especially the joint areas, as you can see, they're a little bit darker. Okay, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. Just little touches here and there. Don't have to go too hard. And it's got that the shell is quite a bit translucent, whatever. You can see the light is still coming through them, which is nice. There's some here. As you can see, I'm not going too hard, just little dabs here and there. A little bit here for the shadow. Okay, the light's on that side, so I'm just going to go here. There's depth in there. I'm trying kind of get that depth there. As you can see, there's a dark area there. So I'm just going to slowly start to build it up a bit. Okay, got some. Again, this is my second layer now. I won't worry too much about the shiny areas, as I said. So this is just to get you going. See, it's still at this stage, it's still more like watercolor. So it is nice to have those different layers of colours. They do come through even when you add darker layers on top. So, I mean, at this stage you can just leave it as a sketch if you want, or you develop it further, or whatever you want to do with it. But as you can see, it didn't take me very long to get this far with this. Now I'm going to go into the darker areas a bit more, and that's where the blue comes in. Just roughly around here, as you can see, especially for the shell. And now you can see all those reds and the yellows that I've put in, they're coming through. It's nice to have that. There's a little bump here, another bump here, and a bit more of that. I'm going to go get a bit more here for the shadow as well, a shadowy area. Don't be scared of shadows, they're quite good and they really help your drawing. See that, just that little flick here, and that's it, and you've got a nice, see that leg has moved a bit, so I'll move it back. That's it. So leave that white area here, you can see just behind that leg there's a light coming through there, so it's good to pay attention to these things. Okay, so okay, leave it out for the shadow. Same here, just give it a bit more water just to loosen it a little bit. Okay, we're going to go for the darker areas now. That Prussian blue, yellow ochre. I'm going to make the paint a little bit thicker. As you can see, I'm building it up slowly. Leaving that, you see the edges of the shell. Okay. Just to mark them out at the moment. And then got a few bumps here and there. A bit more yellow ochre, I think. And a bit more red. That's too much. So that red needs to come through a little bit here. So that area there. Okay.
Oh, and I'm a secret little trapdoor that leads down to pumpkin.
So just making a bit more of the shadows here.
What is it? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go back to this area and work on it a bit more. I come back to this area here. Now, as you can see, when I make the paints a bit darker, a bit more of that. I want it to be a little bit darker than that. Come back to that. For now. Now I'm going to go to the white one. Add some white colour, white paint, some white paints. Yes, white, you can use white at the right time. See if I can get this kind of bluish colour here on the side. See where the light is hitting. got that bluish green colour and not white, pure white. Just because it's light doesn't mean it's going to be white. So it's still a bit blue. Add a bit more of that yellow ochre maybe. A bit more white. Like I said, this is not watercolor, this is gouache, and that's how gouache works. It's a cross between, I would say, acrylic and watercolor. So you can see now I'm adding thick paint, opaque, by adding the white. As you know, the white, you add white, a bit more shadow here.
Daddy, are you recording?
So that's it. More shadow here. Crab is starting to stink now, very bad. Honestly, it really stinks. I have to get rid of it. Been sitting in the bucket for about 3 days. So I didn't have time to do it. So, okay, that's it. Cover this area here. that's it. That's my drawing, it's done. So from start to finish. Okay. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. And see you soon.